Myself, Zigbu, aka Big Zuu. Out here in Portobello, Carnival.
Love in my heart from the start. This is my brother to just do it for the art. Big Zuu, I'm the same guy. Wouldn't tell the real me apart.
There is a certain type of elation that you'll only see in people in London together at Carnival, which I wish I could bottle it up and have it all year, but the fact that you only have it once a year is what makes it so special.
It just depends what it is. So never gonna invest in them pics. Only my real G's have a drink. I never sneak my guys for a link. Because life's deep, but you gotta think.
That celebration of who we are in the place where we live, playing our music, eating our food, sharing that with the people that come through, and keeping that strong, you know.
You know every summer, Carnival, innit? You just know the end is going to change, the road's going to become completely different for a couple of days, and then everything goes back to normal. The boom, 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 consistently all day.
It's London at its best. All ages, all creeds, all cultures. It's a great thing.
And once you get that, you're bitten by a carnival bug, you will never ever stop being in Carnival. You can be anything you want to be on that day and feel it. And that's the joy of Carnival, really.
It always does make me laugh. Everyone's like begging that little extra bit of spice every year. It's like, you know, I was actually born in Jamaica. Really hard. Everybody's clambering to have their stake in any sort of culture that's to do with, you know, this area.
Growing up in Western Ladbroke Grove, it has like one of the starkest divides between like the ultra rich and the ultra poor. Like a lot of people who started Carnival and made this area so great, and why a lot of people moved to this area, you know, they're being kicked out of their creative spaces. So like you want to invest back in them basically, do you know what I mean?
Right, my sound system is a house sound system. We play house music all day long, as we say. I'm never really happy until I hear that first coming out the speakers. Yeah. This used to be a basketball court. That was a housing estate and community centre. That's gone now. Those flats are new. So you can see how much the area's changed, you know. My first memory of Carnival was going under the flyover and seeing Jar Shaka. Sound systems started out amongst the West Caribbean community when they first came here. There wasn't clubs and things like that to go to. You've got to understand, as a young black kid, it was the first time I'd seen so many black men in one place together. It was just a wonderful moment, you know.
The Carnival is the best thing that ever happened to London. And it's something that was brought from the West Indies. You find half of the costumes makers don't want to go out and dance or anything. They just have this inner joy of seeing the end product on the person who they make it for. We don't want our children to lose their identity. We don't want them to lose the culture. So we're trying to keep it going.
I spent so many years here, right at this very spot, at stall number 10 on Westbourne Park Road. This is the exact spot. So, you know, the stall will be here, you know, pointing outwards. The law is that you can't really come across the barrier over here. But of course, you know, being me, whatever, you tend to break the rules a little bit. So I'd be out here, you know. Before Carnival, I'd never been back to Jamaica since I came here for the first time. It was the first time I saw an experience where it was my culture being expressed to me, you know, in its wonderment. I think Carnival is an art beat, and you're just part of that, you know, whether you're the drum or you're the guitar or whatever. You know, I like to think of myself as a bass type guy, you know, because I shouted a lot and made a lot of noise.
It's sick, like going there as a little kid with my mum, just holding her hand, like not trying to get lost, to like growing up, like going with my friends only, like, and like just being out here lost in Carnival, like, and then getting a bit older where, all right, we know to go there, we're gonna get the jerk chicken from there. Yeah, man. It's so important to be able to perform to like your local community, especially in a place like West London where we're like considered not the best side of music, like South, East and North. They hate on West. But they know when it's Carnival, they got to do the journey. We ain't got to do the journey. That's what I love about it. Obviously, there's certain people that look at Carnival like, they look at the negatives, like the problems that occur, the arguments, the violence, that kind of thing. But I think that's such a small percentage of what actually happens that sometimes it's weird that it gets more coverage than the actual positive.
So I've been involved with running Carnival for over 50 years. Carnival has become a cosmopolitan event. It's an integral part of the whole London community. The press don't come for that. They come here to see if there's fights, if there's drugs, if there's whatever. I know what the coverage was, I know what the press gives, so.
They underestimate our community. I mean, my little unit, we got people with PhDs, head of departments, they pay their mortgages, they raise their kids. We're like everybody else, but we don't get seen like that.
We've seen what happened, you know, with the Windrush scandal. We saw what happened with Grenfell. Black and brown people are great. They've given so much to this country, particularly this area, and how that has affected our culture, club culture, food culture, fashion, everything. This carnival, this event, I think reminds people of that, just in case they forget and get it twisted, you know.
Where everybody from the corner, silence. For those people who lost their lives, what a tragedy. Respect and honor.
You know, what happened was so very terrible. It's left such a, for me personally, it's left such a sort of stain on, I think, on our national conscience. And as much as I came to Carnival, you know, that year to have a good time, as I do every year, I felt like I could not come.
The year Grenfell happened, having that solidarity, it reshifted the mentality where it's like, wow, this is about the community, and it made you recognise how much of Carnival is community run. You know, the true people who pioneered it, they never made money off it. They do it every year because they love it and they love Carnival. Do you know what I mean? And so Grenfell did reshift the sort of conversation back about the community, and I just want it to remain like that. Yeah.
I'm trying to get to a place that is cool progression. You see, it's mad where I'm from, but it's not all aggression.
It's a heritage, it's a cultural legacy that we've created here in a hostile environment. People believed that things had changed, but everything was lurking under the surface. So what do we do about that now? What are the components of our culture? And, you know, how can we use these things now to actually counteract what's going on again, once again on the next level? We've done it before, we can do it again, but we have to do it more successfully. We have to challenge the inner structure.
To me, Carnival is really, really, really important because we live in a society that can be fragmented at times. Barriers get broken. You know, music's that wonderful thing that's this unspoken language between people that you can all feel the same thing at the same time. So that's just wonderful. You know, I don't know what else to say.